Have you ever wanted to make your own Horde Survivor game? What's that, you say? You know, like Vampire Survivors and Brotato and stuff. I made one in 24 hours after the fine folks at CraftPix reached out and suggested I use one of their free asset kits for one of my speedrun tutorial things. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but their asset kit fit perfectly into this project. So not only did I make one in 24 hours, I decided to also make a toned down version in less than an hour. I basically recreated the prototype I made from the original version. You can pick up the asset kit I used for free at craftpix.net, so you can follow along. The link is in the description, and you can play the version I made in 24 hours on itch now. That link is also in the description. Okay, with all that out of the way, this is, oh wait, if you're into game dev or speedrun style content, please consider giving this a like and sub. It really helps out the channel a lot. Okay, let's get into it. This is how to make a Horde Survivor game in under an hour. Hey everyone, welcome back. So we've got a little bit of a longer one today. We'll be making a Horde Survivor game, and for that we'll be using the free roguelike shoot 'em up pixel art game kit from craftpix.net. They reached out and suggested that I use one of their free asset kits for a game, and I thought, hey, I actually have the perfect idea for this. So I'll leave this link in the description. It's this shoot 'em up roguelike. It is free to download. You do have to make an account, and then you can unlock the download. And after you do that, you will get something like this. So here we have, you know, main character, location, enemies kind of, you know, in their little sprite animations in their folders. So I picked out a bunch of those that I liked, and I'll show you what they are in a moment. So yeah, I just went through and grabbed, I think, 1, 2, 3 enemy sprites with their walking and death animation, a player sprite, this frame, and 3 weapons. I also grabbed a tile and some grass and rocks, and some projectiles. So yeah, one thing I want to point out before I get started is that I did have a naming convention for them after I pulled them out. You'll see here it has sprite underscore enemy 1 run underscore strip 6. That strip 6 is named because that's a naming convention. There are, like, in this one, there are 6 frames, sprites, images, whatever you want to call them. And doing an underscore strip 6 makes them really easy to load into GameMaker, which is something we'll do here in 1 second. So I think that's everything I wanted to explain up top. This is CraftPix. This is what I pulled out. I went, I got the asset kit, downloaded it, and yeah, pulled these into a separate folder. Yeah, okay, cool. I guess we're ready to start. So yeah, I guess open up GameMaker, select new, game, blank game, give it a project name, and I will start the time as soon as I click let's go. Yeah. Okay, so first let's open up our room and just change our dimensions. Okay, now I have these sprites here, right? So I can let's just take our cursor, come in here to sprites and drop that in. And now it's already named sprite cursor. Look at how nice that is. One thing I think I do want to double most of these in size. I could have done this outside of GameMaker, but I wanted to leave them to be the same size as they are from the kit. So yeah, like I said, we have this strip 4, drag this in, and because of that naming convention, it separates them like that. Look, how easy is that? Isn't that wonderful? And it's already named and everything. One thing we do want to change the origin to middle center, and just double it in size. And then yeah, I'm just gonna go through and keep doing that as quickly as possible. And you'll see as far as the names, I left them so you could pull them out. This is enemy 1, 2, and 4. So I skipped 3, but you should be able to go and find them based on that. You're also welcome to use whichever ones you want. I just used 3 different enemies for this. Is that too low? That'll be fine. Yeah. So is that okay? So this sprite frame, while we're here, let's go ahead. Well, yeah, we're going to double it again. Next, we're going to turn on 9 slice. So I'll show you what this does a little later. We're still kind of in the middle of other stuff. We just want to draw in these pink lines, kind of drag them in to create a box in the middle. Right, so I'm dragging it in. See how these like rounded corners? I'm dragging it in past the roundness. And then we can like select this, come over here, and repeat instead of stretch. And so that way when we make it bigger, it'll just repeat these parts. It's really, really, really helpful when, making UI elements, stuff like that. We'll end up using this a lot, but I just want to come in here and mirror the side, or repeat or mirror the sides. I think this should be repeat. Let's make this one middle mirror. And yeah, so that because we haven't changed these corners at all, they will maintain. They won't stretch. We'll see that. Okay, let's keep doing these. Okay. Right? Okay. Then these I'm dragging in, not changing the size. That's fine. We want them to be kind of small. I'm just going to take this up to 96. That's what we've been doing for the rest of them. And yeah, our weapons. Middle center, middle center. I think I forgot to make this one bigger. Okay. And I think the last thing is we have these grass and rocks. So this isn't going to be the cleanest way to do it, but we can just take all of these, drag them in. Pretty sure. Does that work? Nope. Nope, nope, nope. We're not doing that. No. Okay. So create sprite from images. Yeah. And then we can come in here, grab all of our grass. And I think we leave that. Create sprite from images, rocks. Okay, yeah. Just want to double check this real quick. Is this all? Yeah, okay. So with all that, let's make a font real quick. And then I use Jersey. These are from Google Fonts. They are free for personal and commercial projects. Maybe. You will have to check the license. Okay. Everything good so far? Yep. So I guess we go through and start making our objects. As always, the first things we want to make are controller objects, which will be used for like doing room stuff. And I think in this case, we're going to do like a main. And then like an enemy. And I just want to drag them into the room first. Oh yeah, this room while we're here. Okay, instances layer. Change the grid to 50 by 50. This is just for me. We don't really use the grid, but I just don't like it to be misaligned like that. It's fine here. Here we're going to choose sprites. I know that's kind of behind my head there, but I clicked background and I'm choosing the sprite as sprite tile, and we will tile that horizontally and vertically. which looks like this, and it's not very pretty. So we're going to have to do something to kind of make this look less like a pattern, and we'll do that pretty much immediately here. Oh. Yeah. I also want to do a custom cursor, but we'll do that in a minute. Do that in a minute. Okay. So first, let's create our grass object. And then for this, it's on my way. Okay. First, give it a really low depth. So we want to scale these randomly, so they're not always the same. And what we're doing here is just generating a bunch of random grass and rocks. So what we're doing is setting a random variable, giving it a random range, and then setting both the x and y scale to that variable so that, you know, it's equal, you know, they're in the correct proportions. So there are 6 sprites, but image indexes start at 0. So yeah, we're just removing 1. Easy. So I think for yeah, we're just gonna duplicate this. Take this, change it to rocks, and just change the depth to 10. Sure. And while we're here, let's also make this cursor. So right away depth equals 0. And then in the step event, right, x equals mouse x, y equals mouse y. So it'll like follow it. Sorry, so it'll follow it around. Okay. Did we drop anything in here? Okay, so we want the main, the enemy, and the cursor. Just kind of out of the frame, but we want them in the room. So yeah, we can come into object controller main, and the first thing so we're just going to turn off the cursor. We have an object cursor that's just going to follow it around. Why not? Easy. We will be using points for this. Yeah, I don't usually end up using a lot of while loops because you can just end up doing that with if statements in the step event. But I think this is a good place to use a while loop. We're creating like random rock and grass. And so yeah, we're just making... Oh, I said I would make this bigger. Okay. So instance create layer, random range, and the random range is somewhere between 25 and room width minus 25. That's our x. Our y is somewhere random 25, room height minus 25. This goes on instances, and we are making rocks. And so important, whenever you have a while statement, I should have done this as soon as I typed while. I should have typed rock maker minus minus so that it creates the object and then de-increments. We can just copy this, change all the rock to grass. And there we go. So normally you wouldn't want to set this variable. Truck going by. So normally you wouldn't want to set this variable and then, like in a step event, because it would keep trying to set this to 100. But one thing about create events is they just kind of run through once. That's what makes them special. Runs through once at the create. So we can do stuff like that. Okay. I guess run it, right? Okay. Yep, good. Everything looks really, really small. I know that's because we didn't up the size, so I think this would be the easiest place to do it, or at least the most correct place, because I upped everything else here. So yeah, I'm just upping these 150%. I don't know what that did, but yeah, see, that looks a little better. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, see how it breaks up the pattern just a little bit. So quick, so easy. Look at that. 13 minutes. Already have like a dynamic background. Okay, so we need to make like player, enemies, all of that. I'm going to start backwards with a projectile. It's kind of like a Farmer in the Dell situation. Like the player makes the weapon makes the projectile. So we're going to start with that. And we're going to be using enums and arrays in all kinds of fun ways. But before we do that, we're just going to use a simple flag, upgraded equals false. We can set that other places. And then here, I did it. Okay, so if x greater than room width plus 10, or x less than negative 10, or y, and I did this little thing here because this also means or, so I'm just kind of separating this logic. Here's x on this side, y on this side with two different statements. This is technically 3 or 4 conditionals. Pretty sure that's what they're called. So yeah, just if it gets out of range, destroy it. Yeah, we're also going to use like these frames. We'll just have them go on for 99 right now, and then we'll set them other places. Okay. So we have a projectile. Now we're going to do a pickup. These are both related to the weapon. We'll be using the weapon object to spawn both of these, so I just want to make sure we make them first. Oh yeah, and we're going to take some of this code. That's right. So we have our first enum. Good. So, yeah, enums are like fancy ways of saving game states, and we can use them in a lot of fun ways. What just we want to know for now is that unless these are specifically set, which you can do like this, they will default to these values 0, 1, 2, 3. And so we can use that to do some just fun kind of stuff. But let's go ahead and set our pickup type first. We're doing it here? Okay. So right now we're making an array, and in this array, sprite weapon 3. Cool, yeah. So this array holds these different sprite indexes, right? And since these like default to 0, 1, 2, we can use them to pick up the index of the array. And that looks like this. Yep, okay. Look at that, no fancy switch, case, anything like that. It will just pick up the sprite index based on its pickup type. And we can set that somewhere else. And yeah, we can also kind of set it dynamically because this kind of happens through the create event. But we will be doing that in object weapon right now. How fun. It is fun. No, it is fun. Okay. I forgot I was going to try to make these bigger. Yeah, we're just going to take this. Same thing, right? Pickup, between pickup and weapon. Always going to be the same. And like, couldn't I use a weapon type, like for the pickup? Yeah, sure, but look at how quick that was. Oh, we can take this too. There's a car falling apart back there. Okay. Oh yeah, first thing. Whoa. Oh yeah, so object weapon will face whatever way the mouse is pointing. This point direction is just a function that does that. So yeah, we're just going to make sure that the X and Y are always set to this object player, which does not exist right now, but we will make that in a second. It's the most important part of it. But yeah, object player will be used to spawn and control object weapon, but we want this in here as kind of a backup. We're not actually going to move object weapon in this step event. With this, we're going to move it along with the player, but it's just kind of a backup thing. Okay. Oh yeah, then this thing. Just gonna take this. Okay. Yeah, this is a fun thing, right? We're gonna have like a switch case, but we're just gonna save the sprite index. Normally, you'd kind of control that, be like, well, if it's this, then we want to set the sprite to be this. But we don't have to do that. We can just set it with that. Then we can put the switch inside. The largeness is getting to me a little bit. Okay. What do we want here? If mouse check button released, MB left. Right? First. Ammo minus sec. Second. Did we not set a weapon type? I always forget that. And so I set it to null, when this has to be set somewhere else, right? I want to make sure that pistol, shotgun, sniper, it's not just like defaulting to a value. That's why I set up a null as the 0 spot every time, so that I know if there's a mistake. But in this instance, I do want object weapon. I want it to spawn as the pistol every time when it starts. And I could do that with like an object controller switching it out or stuff like that, but just in general, right? The default is the pistol. So we set it to the pistol here. But for the pickup, the default is not the pistol, so we set it to null. Just an idea of why I do that. So yeah, we're using the sprite. The sprite is being set based on this thing right here. And then this switch is just being used to figure out like how does the bullet work? How does the projectile work? How does the projectile work? Yeah, just some fancy stuff. Bullet.direction equals image angle minus 90. That's, yeah. We have to set the image angle based on which way it's pointing. And its speed. Okay. So what's the difference between a while loop? Why would you set... I act like I don't do these every single day. 4, var equals 0, I less than 3, I plus plus. Yes, good, yes, okay. So why am I doing this instead of like a while loop? Well, it just gives me greater control. I can use that I. Spread from 0, right? This is kind of fancy, but I'm making a shotgun with spread, so I want to figure out like the bullet where the middle point is. Then I want to figure out what the spread distance is, and then we subtract whatever the image angle is to get that first one, and then we can just add that spread distance to 3, and that's how you get, yeah, so we have the spread distance, and then the spread from 0 that we have to, from where it has to start back, right? And then we should take all this. No, not at all. Okay. Yeah, it's going to tell me this bullet is wrong because I already declared it here, but these are technically two different things. There could be a circumstance where you don't fire the pistol before you pick up the shotgun. So it is actually, I disagree with this note. That's all. Spread from... Yeah, bullet direction equals spread from 0. That's our starting point. Plus spread distance times I, right? We have I here. If I equals 0, then this does nothing. It starts off that first position. Otherwise, you get it. Yeah, and then how did I figure out like the correct order of this? I kind of thought about it, and then I just had to add the minus 90 because it shot off in the wrong direction. So, like, there's a little bit of you use logic and then just kind of like all of that's pretty sound in how that works. I knew that, so I just had to kind of finnick around Wouldn't give it that last. I said a finnick around, like finicking. Okay. So bullet speed equals 12, bullet frames equals 5 because we set the frames to 99, and now we're going to drop them. What was I working on? Okay, yeah. Perfect. Anything else we want to do there? I guess that's good. Yeah. Yeah, I think we take all of this. But we also say yeah. Okay. Okay. See, I remember we set up this upgraded. I don't remember what that. I think that's a collision event later with the object enemy. That's when we use that. We're just using like a Boolean flag for that. And then, yeah, we just switch out the sprite index. Do we center these? We need to make these middle center. Just want to make sure that our sprites are middle center for these. And then, yeah, it'll switch out the collision mask based on the sprite we use. I'm pretty sure. Otherwise, they're like, what? 4 pixels apart. Okay. No, but I'm pretty sure that works. Okay. What do you want me to... Which thing? Yeah, okay. We want to put this outside. Ooh, 30 minutes in. Okay. Yeah, I can definitely finish this in like the next 15 minutes if I hustle. Not a good sign. Okay. So this says if you're out of ammo for whatever your weapon is, then switch back to pistol. Yeah. So quick, so easy. Okay, so then we need collision here with weapon. This would be collision on object weapon. No, that's the same thing. That's not right. We are object weapon. The collision needs to be on object pickup. We use other as the, we call that constant, to pick up what's being, so this is the weapon, the object pickup is the other. Okay. Weapon type equals other.pickup type. That's not right. And then, yeah, again, it's not really like reading the name of the enum, right? It's just because we set up these two enums to have the exact same information that it's like, oh yeah, so that's a 2 and that's related to the other 2. You know, it's, yeah. Okay, guess we're ready for object player. Yeah, that means we're almost done here. Guess we're going to start right off with our enum. And then I know what I said before about, making sure that you set your player states correctly. Isn't it default? Shouldn't it be set to still? Yeah. Don't know why I set that there, but okay. Did I? Okay. I don't know why I left this in. I remember there being a room wrap function at some point. I could not find it, so I wrote my own. So this is just to, wrap the room. Did I do? Don't know why I did that either. I guess the idea is I don't know, have fun when you're writing code. I thought maybe this would keep it a little cleaner in the step event, but I don't know. Just felt like writing my own room wrap function. If x is less than -10, x equals room width plus 10. If x is greater than x equals no, yep. Y is less than 9, y equals room height. Y is less than -10 plus 10. Yep, okay. Great. Good. Okay. So, I'm going to check. Where did I put that in there? Not. I don't think I have to do it that way. Okay. Sorry, I'm just checking my notes. So the idea is that if you press any key, then the player is walking, right? Else. I think that makes more sense than the way that I had it written. Okay. So we're doing the ORD, the ordinal. Okay, right? So we do the capital W. That means, when I press W, move y equals global minus equals global.player speed, weapon.y minus equals global.player speed. And we did set that up, right? Nope. Okay. Global.player speed equals 5. Why not? That sounds good. And yeah, we should just be able to... So if W S A D, W is up, S is down. I play video games. X minus X. And so, yeah, like I said before, we're going to move that weapon right here, right alongside. There's no lag, no waiting for it to catch up, no frames in between. Oh. Let me drop that player in the room, just see where we are. It's been a while since we've tested. Okay. It does look like we have an error here. Unknown object pickup type. Line 8. Is that an object weapon? Yikes. Unknown object pickup type. That's it for reading it, so. Yeah, step event for object weapon. Then 0 for object weapon. 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Weapon type equals weapon type dot pistol. Oh boy. There it is. Because one's for the pickup, one's for the weapon. Yep. Okay. Okay, cool. Looks like that might be a little low. Can we shoot? Yep, we can shoot. We can move. Okay, got a lot going on, so let's keep going. So yeah, one thing, this is always my mistake. I copied and pasted, I think, this, and I didn't switch out. There's a pickup type and a weapon type, right? Pickup, weapon. Real quick, I'm going to take these, just kind of pull them up. That should help out a lot. Okay. So yeah, player stands still, player moves, rotates. Ooh. Other way around? Okay, yeah, it needs to be like there. Okay. Do I have like... I'll tell you where the issue is coming from. I should fix. So if this is on here, right, that needs to be on the meaty part of that. Then yeah, this is not on the meaty part of this, right? This should be like there. Okay, what am I doing? I'm running out of time. But yeah, see, look, that matches much better. So yeah, it's going to go off of that origin point, and we're not really controlling anything else with that origin point, so that's fine. Oh, yeah. That function I built and then never used. Object player. Right here, right at the very end, right? Okay. Just going to type in room, wrap. Okay. Okay. We just have the enemy to go. Oh man, and I gotta move kind of quick. I was gonna go through and explain. We're gonna be using an array to just take all of this data and store it right in the we're going to use this object controller enemy to just like imbue, just give this what it needs so that we can keep the step the step as light as possible so that we can have as many enemies on screen as possible. Okay. So if we're ever referencing another object, we want to make sure that object exists first. I said, okay. X, if object player is greater than X, then X must increase by enemy speed. Yes. We're trying to match them. So, if object player is less than. This is just really simple, really basic AI. I mean, can barely be called that, but it'll work for our purposes. For the one that I made on itch, I kind of made like a variable where they would not check the player's position right away, as though they, were kind of couldn't move as fast. That way they wouldn't like move in unison, that kind of stuff. This is all. Try zooming in a little bit. This was probably the laziest way that I could implement a spawn system and a death animation thing. It's just like if it reaches the end of the animation and like choose which, if it matches this random number, just go ahead and choose which pickup. So yeah, that would have to be cleaned up a little bit if you were trying to make this into something a little longer. But that part can make it a lot longer because you're talking about balancing and stuff. Right, yeah, and then just doing the death logic. Okay. So I think with all that done, we're ready to do collision events. So collision here with player first, right? We're just gonna okay. I'm just realizing something, but we can clean this up at the end. Okay. So this is why we upgraded it. If it's not upgraded, just destroy it. But if it is upgraded, then don't. I don't know why I'm adding that. I don't know why. I don't think this is... This should be in an else statement. Oh my god. Sorry. Okay. I'm an old man and my back hurts. Are we done with this? We have one last thing to do? Okay. We're going to make one enemy every 30 seconds. We're going to use a timer and a timer total to easily set it up. The enum for enemy type comes in here. We have null, pawn, infected, and beefy. Nope, buff. Beefy is the game I made. Buff is a bad name to use because it's going to try to fill in buffer every time. Okay, we're going to make one of my favorite things. We're going to end this one with the array, the dreaded array. We're using this instead of a struct. This is sort of in place of the struct. And we're building out a multi-dimensional array, right? Like always. So this one will be pawn. Enemy 1 run. Oh, sprite. That's the walk sprite. That's the death sprite. HP is 1, 1, 1. Right? So we fill this in, make sure that these all... Pawn, infected, buff, what? Enemy 4. Oh, that's annoying. This one's named walk. Oh, that's annoying. Okay. And then values are 2, 1, 2, 2, 4, 1. Okay. Now here we go. Okay. So we're doing the same thing of setting a random range, room width 50 to room width minus 50. The y will always be negative 50 instances, and object enemy. Keep building it down, right? Is that so unclean? Okay. It's showing off the power of the engine. Or I was running out of time on this. So remember how they just default into numbers, integers? Yeah, you can do all kinds of fun stuff with them. All kinds of lazy stuff too. Or, you know, quick, because you got to do it quick. I can't believe. Enemy dot walk sprite equals enemy r enemy type. And since it's a multi-dimensional array, this one is going to be in this place right here. And it's like, isn't this kind of confusing? Because, you know, you're running a bunch of data and you kind of you can't see what's what. Well, the thing is, we're just going to run these down the list. And so we've like, oh, is this 0? No, because we left 0 blank. Yeah, 0 is name. That's the first sprite. So yeah, we're doing this all right here, right? I can go back, see this note right here, and immediately tell what's getting loaded in. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. I can't believe I did this too. Just wanted them to come out a little bit more randomly, so. Sure. Oh, yeah, okay. So we're also going to make a score object. And I guess I never showed this off. Draw. Okay. We can go back to our room, take object score, drag it in here, and as you can see, come on, I can take the corners. Whoa. Can we turn this on? Sprite activate 9 slice. So we did this. Got to check that box right there. Come back here, and look, you see when I drag it like that? Let's try to get it closer. Look, you can make it any size you want. And you can even like have drag and drop features. You could put like a hitbox on the corner here, then have this drag, have the user do it. You know, stuff like that. Really cool, really fun. Okay, let's load in, see what we have right now. Okay, this thing's way too big. It's all looking good. One thing I forgot, there's no lose condition right now. So we got to add that in. And we can do that super, super quickly. Global dot player health equals 10. Yeah, right? Yeah, sure. If global dot player health less than or equal to 0, room, restart. And then do we have a collision here? Collision would be under object enemy, object player. Oh, we have it as a global. That's why I did it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh no. Oh no. We're so close, but it looks like there is something wrong. Yeah, coming out the wrong angle. Okay. Let's go back. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, if this is it, I'm going to try... Got 1 minute left. Okay, so... Yep, score's going up. They have some health to them. Oh, I know. Why did I change this? When they get hit... Oh... I'm going to run out on time because of this, but you need some feedback that you've hit them even if they don't die right away. Why did I change this? Okay, if other dot upgrade equals false, then instance destroy. Otherwise, yeah, none of this. This does go here, and this goes along with it. Okay. Come on. Yep, see that feedback right there? Okay, okay. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna see if I can die. If I can die, yep. Oh, look at that time. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh man. This was not the first take, so this feels good. This feels powerful. Okay. So yeah. You see we shoot, we have that feedback even if they don't die immediately. Yeah, we have the upgrades. I think this should be fixed. Yeah, see, that's got that short blast on it. We've got the sniper that just kind of hits straight through. And then, yeah, we have health. We have score. And we have a game. So, yeah. That was a longer one. Thank you again. Thank you so much to CraftPix for reaching out and suggesting that I use this. This was perfect. I had a great time making this. If you want to see what I turned this into in 24 hours, it's kind of like a more full game experience. It's got some RPG upgrade mechanics, light story, sound, that kind of thing. And just to kind of see, where I come from, what I think of as more of like a more complete game than just something I would make in an hour. So there's a 24-hour version of this on itch now. So once again, thank you so much, CraftPix. And yeah, I hope you got something out of this. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hey, thanks so much for watching. I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and if you have any questions or you run into bugs, just reach out and we can work through it together. And please remember to give this a like and sub. It really helps out so much. So what's up? What's next? You want to do another tutorial? How about a video that explains an indie game so you don't have to play through the whole thing? Still here? Yeah, so you just pick one of those videos and it's just going to pick one randomly now. Okay, I'm going to end the video. Thank you.